hello again for the last time in this feed of Hello.
Oh, Jenny, it's your last My So-Called Life intro.
I know.
I guess in 5 years we'll be back to do new intros to the old intros. Just every 5 years. We'll revisit the series. I mean, okay, tell me your thoughts on this episode, but I also really want to know your thoughts on the series as a whole now that you've sort of done the full run again.
Okay. Apparently this is Jordan Catalano's best episode. Apparently this is the Roxanne episode of My So-Called Life. Was a big fan of Roxanne growing up, so I'm here for it. What's really incredible about this episode is that it's like this culmination of you guys talking about the series, which gives you the opportunity, I don't know if you know this, but you have a full-on walk down flannel memory lane, complete with sort of montage music that's like very emotional, and you guys are like, remember when so-and-so wore this? Remember when so-and-so sat on that? Remember when it's really... I guffawed. Sorry to spoil it for everyone, but you probably listened 5 years ago, so you already know. So now I'm just here to say, wow, that's funny.
Do you have in your mind the most iconic flannel for you in the series?
Kristin, for me, flannel isn't... I'm not like a flannel tourist. You know, flannel is a lifestyle, so I'm living and breathing flannel reality all day, every day. I'm wearing a flannel right now.
She is. I can confirm wearing a flannel right now.
So, you know, life is less about like one specific flannel deployment for me and more about just like a never-ending circle of life kind of.
Okay, question avoider. Then let me reframe the question. Do you think that there's a person on the show who best embodies that lifestyle? And it can be the couch in the Chase's living room. You know what I mean? Like it can be whatever. It can be inanimate or a human.
Well, it's like
the only two options. You're either inanimate or you're a human.
I mean, it's either Angela or Jordan. And I think that Angela, because she's the main character, because she's in every single episode, and because she's a girl. So she has like a lot of different ways to wear flannel.
That's true.
She's got dresses. She's got shirts. She's got shirts on shirts. She's got headbands. She's got scrunchies. She's got all kinds of stuff. Jordan is either wearing a flannel shirt or a different kind of shirt. You know?
Yeah. He can tie it around his waist or put it on his body.
Jordan is more iconic for me because I just don't relate to Angela's style of dress, although I can appreciate it from afar. But I think just for volume... it's got to go Angela.
Yeah, that's fair. We've seen she even has flannel boxers, you know, that she wears to school.
I know. She's got it all.
Great. At least we know where your heart is. What else do you have for us?
You know, just I really like this show.
Yeah,
I think this show is really good. I thought it was really good, and I still think it's really good. What do you think about that?
Well, tell me more. What about it is, I mean, because, you know, people here, at least, have primarily heard both of us talk about Buffy. I mean, that's been the biggest focus of our universe. And then we also talk about the X-Files and Yellow Jackets and those shows.
Yeah, these are shows that sort of use kinds of storytelling and aspects of storytelling that are not open to My So-Called Life. Like, My So-Called Life lives in the world, except when teens who died in high school are actually ghosts.
Yes.
You know?
Everyone deserves one fantasy sci-fi horror dip of the toe for their Halloween episode. But yes.
With the exception of the Halloween episode, My So-Called Life does not dabble in the supernatural.
Yeah.
Or the unexplained, right? Iconic looks. They've got something in common with the X-Files.
Sure.
Teen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Teen concerns. Got something in common with Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, you know, My So-Called Life really is kind of the blueprint for a lot of television shows that came after.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been thinking a little bit about, mumblecore, the film subgenre that, like, I feel like perhaps was partially made possible by this show and the deployment of, like, I think, like, it got me too.
Yeah.
I think that this show probably made, I mean, from my own perspective, being a teen when I watched it, it definitely felt like I was seeing something real that, like, was not being made at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But was being made, like, of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's super powerful. And I think, we talk about this all the time, but when you're telling stories in a sci-fi, fantasy, horror space, you have ways to tell stories that are so resonant, especially because they don't have to, like, say the actual thing necessarily that they're communicating. And I think it's really rare to find any show, but certainly one about teenagers, and certainly one that has a teen girl at its center, that does that authentically, just in the real world. And this, I mean, for both of us and for most people of our age, was the first thing to do that. I have this, like, larger thought, and maybe it will be too big for the episode intro, but I'm going to tell you, Jenny, what I've been thinking about recently when it comes to, like, being seen and seeing yourself reflected. As of this taping, I don't know, like 800 months pregnant. I massively pregnant. And unexpectedly, I've felt, like, more comfortable in my body as a pregnant person than I've ever felt in my body as a non-pregnant person. And it's just like, it was not what I expected. And I have just been thinking, like, why? What is that? And the other day I was like, you know what I think it is that for my whole life, how many images of pregnant people do we see everywhere, all the time, on television? There's just, like, the image of a pregnant person, and I will say, like, it is a markedly pregnant woman when it's portrayed in media, because there are folks who feel incredibly dysphoric when they're pregnant because they don't match that image. But for me, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I think what's happening in my brain is that I match this image I've seen so many times that I'm like, oh, I recognize that. That's good. Yes, I like that. And when I'm just regular Kristin, there's less of a touchstone for me to, like, pull on and to recognize when I look in the mirror. And so I can get confused, and I don't know if I like the way I look. I don't know, fill in the blank. And these are obvious concepts, right? When we see ourselves reflected, we feel more confident in ourselves. But I'm not sure that I've ever had a more tangible way of, like, really understanding that than this. And I think it dovetails with, this show and what it did for us and what it does for so many folks, in being like, oh, I can like look like this, I can move around the world like this. Ricky may be the shining example of a character that we never saw on television then, but in so many ways it just, like, let us dance around our rooms to Violent Femmes and feel like that was real and valid,
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me deliver my monologue.
Of course.
Anything else that you have in the My So-Called Life bin? I think you mentioned, Jenny, that we have some special episodes in the Boiler Room feed, and we're going to link. I'm just going to link to all of them in this episode so that you can find all of them. Joanna talked to Winnie Holtzman, who, made this show recently. You may have heard of her. She is responsible for Wicked. So she's kind of done a lot of shit, and she's really awesome. And we were lucky enough to have Joanna talk to her. But we've got special episodes with Vanessa Bayer. We've got the actress who plays Delia. We have the actress who plays Sharon. We've got there's a lot of fun bonus content. So we'll link all those episodes in case you're like, no, I need more. Check the show notes and you'll find all of that fun stuff. But Jenny, it's been a real delight watching this show with you. I know you loved it, but I don't think we've ever watched it together, and it was really fun to get to experience it with you.
What a delight. And in closing, leaving this watch with a lot more empathy and love for Patty and Danielle
Amazing.
than ever before. There's nothing left for us to do, Kristin. About to go. Now! Go!
You tell me a story, a true story, that happened, like, to you. And, I take certain, like, key words from the story and make flashcards.
I blew it.
Wait, is this like the story, or is this just...
Forget the story. I can't think about some crappy story. My life sucks too much.
Yeah, how come?
'Cause she hates me. And I deserve it.
Hello, I am Kristin Russo,
And I am Joanna Robinson.
and this is the very last episode of The Boiler Room, a podcast where we are talking about the short-lived but wonderful television series, My So-Called Life, one episode at a time. Sure don't have to say spoiler-free anymore because there is nothing to spoil after this episode.
This is it. This is episode 19, the last episode, titled In Dreams Begin Responsibilities. And it was written by Winnie Holtzman and directed by Elodie Keene. It originally aired on January 26th, 1995. I do want to say really quickly, though, that like this, it might be our last episode. We don't know. You know what I mean?
That's true. So, okay, so listen, Joanna, before we get into this episode, I hit play. So I have the series through Amazon Video or whatever, and I hit play thinking that it was the end of episode 18 weekend and it was going to start the credits for episode 19. And at first I thought what I was seeing was like a cold open. Is that what you call it when there's a thing before the credits?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what I was actually seeing was a little tag at the end of episode 18 that I didn't see the first time, where we actually do learn that Patty was the one handcuffed to the bed. They're like watching fishing still after the credits finish in episode 18. And they're looking for the key. And like Graham thinks it's hysterical. And he's like, I'm going to go get wire shears from Brian Krakow's dad because he's the kind of guy that would have wire shears.
Okay, well, that's funny. That's
yeah,
funny.
so I felt, oh wow, that was irresponsible viewing on my part.
I'm sorry. I feel like I watched that the first time. I've seen that. So I feel like when I did my full rewatch before we like started, I feel like I watched it then and I just completely spaced on watching it this time.
Totally, because you were like, I really think it's Patty, and I was like, the patriarchy. Actually, it was just that you remembered some part of your brain.
No, Graham! Brian Krakow's dad doesn't have wire shears. I don't even really know what those are. Like bolt cutters?
So it's possible that Patty had to wait handcuffed in her bed until Monday when the hardware store that is not open in Pittsburgh on the weekends opened up.
The like Jesus hardware store. I guess.
Okay, so to the topic at hand. Wow. In Dreams, we start kind of. I mean, we start with Angela telling us about the dream that she's been having over and over again. This is some relatable content. Yeah. Joanna, are you somebody who has dreams like of this nature where you're like working stuff out from your real life in your dream?
Yeah, but usually it's like something that I didn't know was weighing on me. You know what I mean? Like Angela should have no doubt that this right. Jordan thing has been weighing on her. It's all she talks about forever. But usually, like, I'll wake up for a dream, like a really involved dream, and I'll be like, oh, I guess we're worried about that. Okay.
I have more of the Angela style dream where like it's not a surprise to me, but the intensity of it is like on full blast. And the way, so in Angela's dream, if you're not doing the rewatch and you're like, but what is it? In Angela's dream, she's chasing after Jordan. A few things happen, but the thing that I wanted to connect to my own experiences is the end of the dream where she's screaming at Jordan and Jordan is just like impervious. He's just like not paying attention. He's not affected by her emotions. And she just wants so badly for like this person to see her pain. That is like a quintessential Kristin Russo dream where I'm like, I just want to be understood. Like that is really at the core of like some of my worst nightmares is me like yelling at someone and that person just being like, I don't care about you. I never cared about you. So I don't see what the problem is. So I was like, wow, Angela Chase have some connection here to this experience of hers.
I feel like I want to like prescribe you some like lang before bedtime or something like that. I don't know, some like essential oil that will like chill your mind. Just because like life is stressful enough and dreams shouldn't be stressful, but they often are. Can we talk really quickly about the title of this episode?
Yeah. In dreams begin responsibilities.
So that's a title of a short story by Delmore Schwartz, a sort of like famous short story. And like, once again, what I love is Winnie Holtzman's doing like, let's do a tour of the high school curriculum. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people read this in high school, or at least I did. I took a short fiction class though in high school, but this episode is a Cyrano episode, so like we can talk about that. But like within the Cyrano episode is this allusion to the short story. And do you know anything about the short story?
I just read a very brief summary of it, and the summary that I read was that basically the story was about I have not read the story, so I will give you my Kristin version, and you can tell me the details that I'm probably missing. But that it's a story of a young guy who has a dream that he's in like a movie theater, like an old-fashioned movie theater, and when he sits down to watch the movie, he realizes the movie is all about his parents and their relationship, and he gets more and more upset as the movie goes on, and like the audience is getting really mad at him, and he just doesn't want his parents to break up. And then I guess at the end he wakes up, and it's his birthday when he wakes up. So I don't know if that's significant, but that's basically the gist of it. But this idea of I think it's an incredible title for this episode. And in terms of like the parallel, like the Patty Angela parallels, or the Jordan Tony Poole parallels, or the Jordan Graham parallels, and all that sort of stuff, I think it's like it's great stuff in this episode. And it's the last episode. I know we like to usually preserve the air of mystery, but I'm just gonna say we get my best use of flannel in this opening dream sequence. Yeah, same. So I think we might have done it. Maybe. There's a lot of flannel, honestly, so it's not even necessarily for sure that it's the same one. But let's play the jingle. Let's get us in.
My jaw is on the floor. That flannel is divine. It's so fucking special. The best use of flannel of this episode.
Okay, Joanna, what is it?
There's so many options in this episode. I was like, am I making the wrong choice? This is the last one, but it has to be the Jordan Graham double flannel hallway turn. They're both wearing flannel. Yeah. We have different ones?
Is good. That was not mine. So
Okay.
so we both went dream sequence. And as a matter of fact, I think all three of our flannels choices come together because my choice is Angela's flannel nightie.
Yeah,
like
great.
not nightie, her flannel nightgown. And yeah, the double turn though, Graham and Jordan turning at the same moment is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good. They're both wearing flannel, which like is not unusual for either of them. It's just like, it's great because Jordan's got his like, teen burnout flannel, and then not a burnout, and then Graham has his dad flannel, but it's like the same guy.
Yes.
Come on. I want to stop really quickly. Do you distinguish between nightie and nightgown as like, you think nightie is like kind of like sexualized? Is that what you're saying?
I think I don't know that I would have thought that nightie was sexualized, except for we just came off of Weekend where we were talking about Patty's. Didn't we call it a nightie? Did we call it a nightie? No, we called it a negligee.
Negligee is what I would call that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that when I said nightie, I imagined Patty in her negligee and panicked because I was like, that is not what Angela's wearing.
You're like, I'm always imagining Patty in her negligee. No,
so I would love to see a flannel negligee, to be honest with you.
It's funny because I associate nighty with like that's what my parents used to call like.
Oh yeah.
Like to me, nighty is like to nightgown as jammies is to pajamas. Like that's how it sounds like very girlish to me. So when you were like nighty, I was like, yeah, little girl, flannel nightgown, and you're like, no, and I was like, oh, we have different associations here. Yeah. Anyway.
Joanna, since we just picked our best use of flannel for this episode, I'm wondering if you want to take this opportunity to pick your best use of flannel from the series.
Oh, I was not prepared.
I like taking you off guard, you know?
I don't want to get it wrong. I think this is right. I want to give it to, I think this is right. It was Sharon Chersky's flannel backpack, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it actually is in this episode, too.
Yeah,
it's in a lot of the episodes.
The Chersky backpack.
Giving it to Chersky.
Yeah, I'm giving it to my girl Sharon. It was a great
Beautiful.
episode. All right.
Hard earned for Sharon. She deserves that win. I thought about it, and I know that probably most of you think I'm going to go with Rayanne's bathrobe. But I'm not. I decided that when I look at the series as a whole, my choice is the mustard plaid dress that Angela wears, because I think that when I think on the show, that is the most iconic piece of flannel that like comes into my mind. So it gets my series win. Chersky and Chase together again in the Hall of Flannel fame.
So many good options. I'd be curious if anyone else wants to like send in their best use of flannel. It's like remember, let's just remember fondly some uses of flannel in this episode. Remember?
I'll play some memory music underneath this.
Remember the thread coming out of Jordan's flannel?
I do. Remember Rayanne's flannel mittens?
Yes. Remember how various couches are upholstered in flannel?
Remember how in the Chase kitchen, the booth and the curtains are the same kind of plaid material? They match because Patty made them?
Remember that time that Angela was wearing double flannel?
Oh my God, wasn't there a time when Angela was wearing triple flannel, or is that just...
I thought the sun was catching her tights in a way that made them look like they were flannel, but they weren't.
Oh, the classic flannel mirage. Remember the scene in the hallway of Liberty High School where no less than 10 people walked by wearing flannel in under 3 seconds?
Remember how Angela's little raincoat has a flannel lining? One last shout out to Ricky Vasquez's parade of elegant flannel outfits.
Good God.
Jackets.
This fucking Danielle's fucking skirt that looks like it should be overalls, but it's a flannel at the bottom. Patty's father wore flannel. You really couldn't. I would love for somebody to do a deep dive and let us know the maximum amount of seconds that pass in this show without flannel. Find it for me. I will be forever indebted.
Who has endless amounts of time on their hands?
Please.
Would you like to do this project? Great. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for journeying with us through 19 episodes worth of flannel. God, which in a regular show would be probably 100 episodes worth of flannel crammed into 19 episodes here. One thing that I wanted to talk about with the dream too is her Doc Martens stuck to the floor. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Love it.
I talk a lot in Buffering the Vampire Slayer about my love for Nightmare on Elm Street, and this is a Nightmare on Elm Street not reference, because I'm sure that millions of people have done this, but in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Nancy, who is sort of like our final girl, I believe is what we call Nancy. She's trying to get up the stairs, and the stairs like break open, and inside of them it's more marshmallowy, but it's the same like feet stuck in sticky material situation, and I love it.
It's great. It's great stuff. It's interesting to me, like Claire has very, very high standards for what she did. I think, post My So-Called Life. She's a very arty person. But I am surprised that she didn't ever do a horror movie in the 90s.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think she even tried to get into Scream 2? Because I'll tell you what, every single person that I've ever known was in that movie. I rewatched it recently and was like, oh, wow, this is like, you could tell that like all of Hollywood was like, I don't care what I do, just put me in the movie.
I just want to talk on the telephone to a serial killer. Make it happen.
Yeah, please. I'll take a phone, any phone. I also love, so after Angela is finished sort of talking about her dream on this opening scene, she gets up out of bed and her interior monologue is, hatred can become like food. It gives you this energy, which is, I just love that line.
It's true.
I just feel that. I think all of us do, which is what makes it such a powerful line of when you are a madman, it doesn't matter if you are anything else because you are running on that fuel.
Yeah, like that's the thing about my old age. my 30s. I still get mad sometimes, obviously. But like I think at this point in my life I recognize it as like the Cheetos of food or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're just like it's empty and it's just gonna make you feel awful. It's not nourishing in any way, right?
Yeah.
And so like yeah, I know it's such a good line. It's so true. You could just sort of like feast on it, and like in the feast, like it makes the anger grow and all that sort of stuff like that. But it's just like what I recognize now is when I get angry, I'm like, okay, let's find the fastest, while not ignoring it, route towards not being angry, because in the end of the day, like life is too short to just sort of like snack on this. You know what I mean? So
I have to admit that.
I think I stretched my analogy to the breaking point. Okay, yes.
Well, I know I was going to say, I have to admit that while I don't stay angry for long, I definitely like devour the bag of Cheetos on the couch. Like full, like I get so consumed with when I get angry. It's quick. It's like short lived, but I just have I have a fire. I have a fire, and so I still, regardless of how old I think I get, I will always eat the full bag of Cheetos before putting it to the side and thinking about why I ate them.
I kind of want to make that your like your Twitter profile is just like Kristin Russo. I have a fire.
Truly. I mean, I think you know this already, Joanna, but I am a triple fire sign. So I literally both am and have a fire. So moving to the next dream, which is Patty's. Nobody cares about Patty's dream.
It's so mad. I'm so mad about it. Okay, so at least when I think about like whether or not I want to have kids, and I probably don't want to have kids, but like, you know, I think about it. I go back and forth all the time.
Sure.
But like, do you ever just sit there and think about like how shitty you were as a teen sometimes, and then like,
yes.
Oh my God, can I survive that if it comes from some like this little being that I've nurtured and loved, and then all of a sudden they like grow up one day and they're like, oh, it's just sarcasm. I live in sarcasm town 24/7 now, and so like. Angela's just like, that's great, Dad. Good for you.
Oh.
Ram being like, a dream. Blah.
Bye.
Nobody wants that. Bye.
In one of the most 90s references I
Yes.
think that the whole show has, Delia dreamt that she was dancing with Ricky in a vegetable garden, which I love, in a dress that she saw on a television show called The Nanny.
She was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out.
Really got me. I was like, oh my God, remember the fucking nanny?
I feel like curly girls like Delia, and by curly girls I mean like her hair, her spiral curl hair, like would love Fran Drescher, because like that's like a big curly hair show is probably what I would think of. The Nanny. Yeah, The Nanny. I don't know if it's the most 90s thing that happens in this episode, and we will get to that.
That's true. That's true. There's another big 90s reference, because I actually looked into, I assume you're talking about the Princess Diana.
I am.
Yeah. So I'm excited to talk about that, because I learned some stuff in my dig. This, apart from giving us Delia's dream, this also sets us off on a beautiful path that I cannot wait to walk with you, Joanna, where Sharon adamantly tells Delia, I am not friends with Rayanne Graff for the last time. I keep trying to tell you we are not friends.
I mean, let's be real. I had definitely watched this whole season before I came up with the like Sharon ship thing. So it's not like I had like some amazing bit of prognostication. I watched this finale before I came up with that, and I was like, listen, we're going somewhere. But yeah,
God,
this is
it's
a big
so good.
episode for that ship, and Sharon's the lady doth protest a bit too much. So
and then of course Patty brings lunch to Hallie and Graham when they are in the middle of a fight. And Patty wants to give Tony, she's looking for any reason to call Tony her long lost high school lover.
but also a reason to be involved in this, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's not just the Hallie and Graham show. She's like, I can help, I can be involved, I can like be a part of this. And like, Graham is not interested and Hallie's not interested. They're so wrapped up in each other, and he's just like, they're in the midst of their own, like, Much Ado About Nothing, Taming of the Shrew, like Shakespeare comedy of like anger and slamming doors and like, oh, but we have the same, like, and it really hurts me to watch this scene when like Hallie's like, oh, well, he just needs to do this and that's what he needs to do. And Patty's like, well, or maybe blah, blah. And then Grant comes in and says exactly what Hallie says. And Hallie's not like a jerk about it. She's not like smug or whatever, but she smiles. She's satisfied. She's like, yes, we're on the same page. And I'm like, don't leave Patty off this page. God damn it.
No,
You know?
I know. Hallie really like flip flops in this episode in a way that I think is pretty true to the way that things like this run at their course. Like she's walking the line of supporting Graham in his relationship and like giving him some tips and pointers on one side, and then she's also on the other side definitely
hugging him too long hugs. I don't like them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took some notes, Joanna, on who is in Mr. Katimski's class in this episode.
That's so funny because we've gotten to the point of my notes where it says Katimski's class, who's in it?
We have Brian, Jordan, Sharon, and Angela are in this class together. Not necessarily consistent, but that's who's there today.
That's who's in the class this week.
Here we go on our Jordan Catalano journey.
What? I mean, like, our guy Jordan had the week off. He was on the bench last week. And he's just decided to come out swinging with, like, probably his best episode.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
I love his floundering in this scene.
So good.
What else?
Yeah.
Like when he literally says, what else? Like, what else can I tell you so that I can talk to you, even though I can't say the things that I mean to say? And Joanna,
she's like, I think she basically says something like, what do you want? He's like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying, I don't know.
To get like a little meta, because you talked about the fact that obviously this is the core of this plot line is from Cyrano, how do you say it? De Bergerac?
Oh, it's pretty good. Cyrano de Bergerac, yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell you, sorry, this is the most like diversion-filled episode. Maybe I just don't want it to end. When I was a kid, I used to go to this summer camp with my family that was like for a UC Berkeley alumni or whatever, and they would do a musical play. The counselors would put on like a musical play every time we would go to camp, and it would like be based on something. Anyway, there was sorry, this is going somewhere. There is there was like a restaurant at the camp, or like a place you got food at the camp called the Burger Shack. And so they did Cyrano de Burger Shack was the name of the musical, and it was so good.
I know the story of Cyrano de Bergerac because of the movie Roxanne with Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And then, this is a plot line that I imagine you probably know way more than me, Joanna, because you are a television human. That is what you do for a living. But I know that I just watched the first season of Sex Education on Netflix, and this was a plot line, basically. It wasn't a letter, but it was the same deal, right? The nerdier character is in love with the dream girl, and the Jordan Catalano, or what's the character's name in Cyrano? Christian.
Oh, yeah.
The Christian is, after the girl and can actually, quote, get the girl, uses the know-how, the poetry of Cyrano, and that is how they get together. And then usually there's, of course, a reveal, which we get all of that in this episode. Jordan can't say he's sorry. He doesn't know how to do it. And the meta thing that I wanted to say to you, Joanna, is that watching this episode today, I just thought, as much as we want that letter, we wanted that letter, we needed that letter to get Brian's feelings, for Angela to understand Brian's feelings and all of this stuff. I genuinely think that if Jordan had just spoken, he would have done a great job, because we hear him multiple times in this episode talking to people about his feelings, and it's not Brian poetry, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing is Christian, the Christian character in Cyrano, he has a crush on, the Roxanne or whatever, but he doesn't have the depth. This is a better version of Cyrano, where you just don't really know who to root for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not like Christian's a bad guy. He just doesn't have the same depth of feelings. But what they decided to do in this version is I think especially in that Jordan Patty scene, which is just incredible stuff. That could have just been his letter,
Yes, exactly.
That you're no, you don't know who, it's not clear cut in the very end of this episode where you're well, obviously Brian, you know what I mean? Because you're it's not like Jordan's just a hot empty hunk. And what I do appreciate about this episode is it really underlines, some of my my flippant comments throughout the season about Jordan's intelligence levels, and we can just leave all of that aside, and I will just say that Jordan reveals depth in this episode that we hadn't seen from him, especially because and that's part of that's on the show, maybe they want to slow roll it out or whatever, but in earlier episodes we saw Jordan sing a song to his car, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And so it's what were we meant to believe? I do like that in the literacy project that Brian and Jordan are working on, where he writes down words from a story that Jordan told him. The word convertible is one of them. So Jordan definitely told Brian a story about good old Red, I'm sure.
The words, I wrote down those 3 words since you brought them up: harmonica, convertible, and rhythm.
Oh, rhythm. I wasn't sure what the last one was. That's so funny. Yep.
But yeah, and again, just falling into the character of Jordan a little bit, it sort of almost could seem that Jordan didn't know his own depth until faced with the prospect of that's what he says to Patty, right? I just thought that I could keep walking away, and it seems like this is really the first time in Jordan's teenage life, at least, certainly love life, where he has actually been pained by somebody walking away.
Right. And it's narratively, it's extraordinarily helpful that Winnie Holtzman put Jordan and Brian together at the end here because of the real life camaraderie between Devin Gummersall and Jared Leto, and the mentorship she saw there, with basically Jared Leto teaching Devin Gummersall how to pick up girls. But that's true. And Winnie was oh, that's cute, I'll put it in my show. But it gives Jordan a sounding board, who's a character we know, rather than the character played by his brother, and we never see their conversations. They're just down the hall murmuring at each other or whatever. So we have greater access to Jordan because of his relationship with Brian, and this scene with Patty, and the fact. Oh man, the fact that Winnie Holtzman had the foresight, or whoever, someone on her writing staff had the foresight to save the Patty and Jordan meeting until the finale.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
There's that scene where she clocks him and she's in the car. But Patty and Jordan had these ships in the night. That scene where he's in her kitchen and she's talking to Angela on the stairs. There were so many times when they could have met, but they saved it till here, and it's so powerful. It's so good.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. I wish Jordan drank a little bit less milk.
It's too much milk.
It's too much milk, man.
I think it's supposed to make him look boyish and you know. And actually, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but actually I think it's extremely important that Patty is doing the one like feeding here because that's like, that's the Graham role usually in the house. And Patty's like, listen, I can do it myself. I can do this myself. I can make a sandwich.
Wow.
Guess who can make a sandwich?
We know, who could ever really know? But we know, and we've talked about it before, that like season 2, should there have been one, would have seen Patty and Graham getting a divorce, would have seen Jordan and Angela back together again, would have seen Brian and Delia back together again. So like we know where some of this is pointing, though of course we can only imagine it. We never get to actually see it. Jordan's band is back together. They're called Residue. Important fact, don't want to miss it. Also, Sharon Chersky, beloved fave of the pod, has some of her absolute best glares in this episode. Many of them scattered about. One happens here with Jordan taking too much time with Angela and getting a serious glare.
Yes. Followed by my least favorite thing that Sharon ever says. This is a great Sharon episode. We're going to get to all the rants. That was going to be great. She calls Angela Chase Face. I can't remember if we've heard it before, but I hate it. So, Chase Face versus Angelica. I would take Angelica any day of the week.
That's true.
I do love Katimsky bullying Angela into selling tickets for art.
Joanna, if it's okay with you, I actually want to just play the sound clip of Mr. Katimsky's sheer joy at getting Angela to sell these tickets.
Angela Chase? Can I put you down to sell 30 tickets to our town? Oh, gee whiz, Angela. This is 30 measly tickets.
Okay, yes.
Great.
His laugh killed me. It is so good. It's so brilliant.
But I also like his like Ned Flanders-esque, like, I forget what he says, but it's basically Jesus Christ, but it's not. But he's just like, he's like, Christ on a cracker, Angela. It's only 30 tickets, whatever it is. It's so cute. Katimsky. Anyway. So wait, Kristin, we were hearing about a lot of dreams in this episode. What did Sharon Chersky dream about? Kristin?
What a great question. Sharon dreamt, of course, about Rayanne. And do you know what they were doing,
What were they doing?
They were involved together in a water ballet. Let's get as skexy as we can because
I mean,
what the fuck?
Dreaming of being like wet and dancing with Rayanne Graff sounds like a very straight thing for someone to have a dream about.
Yeah,
right?
completely heterosexual dream.
That's
very heterosexual. Oh my God. I literally can't contain myself. Every time I say Sharon, all I think about is her tugging on Rayanne's braids. I can't. I know we're not there, but I can't get over it. I apologize to all of you. I have not made a lot of gifts this season. And I am going to give you the gift that we all deserve, which is Sharon Chersky giving a slight tug onto Rayanne's braids.
Let's choose between two tugs. If you could only have one tug, would it be Sharon Chersky tugging on Rayanne Graff's braids, or would it be Graham Chase tugging those purple tights up over his hips in the Halloween episode?
No, I go solid Sharon.
I know it's Graff braids, but I remember simpler times when we could agree that Graham was a hunky dad and not a deeply problematic fave. So
God, I have to say that like the visual of those purple tights being pulled up on Graham is like emblazoned on my mind because I could picture it as though I was watching it. Whew. So to tutoring we go. Jordan blew it. He also, and I'm sure that you noticed this, Joanna, but he has a hole. His shirt is once again threadbare. He's got a little hole in the shoulder of his thermal shirt, which obviously is, I'm sure, very intentional on the part of the creators, the writers, to bring us back to when Angela was first falling for Jordan Catalano.
Unraveling without her.
Nice.
So here's what we'll say about Jordan Catalano. He says, she hates me and I deserve it. We love a man who takes responsibility for his actions.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Also love a man who learns about the word ironic.
Oh my God, and then uses it like super well later on.
Oh my God, it's so good.
This is the delivery. It's so funny and so good at the same time. The delivery of it. No. What I wanted to say is we've already talked about the movie Reality Bites because of the Lisa Loeb hit Stay. But that came out in 1994. That also involves a lengthy back and forth about the definition of the word irony. So this feels like, and then when did
Alanis?
Well, that was later, right? Alanis is ironic.
It was, but I don't think it was that much later. Let's see.
I just feel like
Alanis, ironic. 96. So yeah, just the next year.
So it's just like a time when we were all grappling with trying to understand the word ironic, which is not what we as a culture are concerned with nowadays, right? Our president is like borderline illiterate, and like discussions of the word irony is not like what we do anyway. No.
It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it's bigger?
So Brian is like, I'm not going to help you. And this is kind of the thing for a bit. In the middle piece of this episode, Brian is like, I won't. But he cannot help himself.
And it's good Brian stuff too, right? Because like in a worse version of this episode, he's like jumping at the opportunity to do this or whatever. And his inner conflict around this, and him talking to Ricky and being like, "This is wrong. This is sick." Like all this sort of stuff is very good. Like I don't think I'm mad at anyone in this episode except for Graham and Hallie Lowenthal. But like,
agree.
Other than that, I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not even mad at Tony Poole for taking too many decongestants and not showing up. Because, odds are he would have been a disappointment. And,
definitely.
Let Patty have her Jordan time instead,
I totally agree. I really think that like Brian's journey through this episode is beautiful. I mean, it really is, because he's also like, I think that it's when we're teenagers that we first start to grapple with the idea that there can be a situation where there are many rights and many wrongs, and it's not just like there is one right and there is one wrong. Like later when, Ricky is like, you have to tell her, and he's like, okay, but I can't, because the right thing to do now is that I did this thing for him, so I can't like undo that thing. And he's really just caught in this bind of not knowing what the right thing is to do, but also being so consumed with his feelings that he can't help but just plow forward through them.
Yeah.
Ricky looks so good. Like, it is so apparent that he has probably for the first time in this series found stability at home with Mr. Katimsky. He's just like really, he just feels very centered. And he, at one point, he says, come to our place. I mean, Mr. Katimsky is like, it's really nice.
You have to come to our house. I mean, Katimsky's, it's so good. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lest we not mention it, Delia has a huge crush on Ricky, which we learned a bit earlier in the episode. Brian, sort of still half after Delia, is like, oh, well, Ricky. And Ricky is like dumbfounded. And Ricky's journey through this is really amazing. Like what he says to Brian later on in the episode, where he's just like,
I can't even believe it. I mean, it's such like an unfamiliar experience. I mean, do you realize how much easier my life would be if I could just like her back? I mean, Brian, this could be my chance to be straight.
I know it's still relatable to many young people, but man, back when this was on in the mid-90s, this was pretty fucking relatable, because it was hard to be in any school and come to the understanding of yourself that you were gay, no matter what.
Yeah. What I do like in this episode is like, I was getting a little frustrated because it felt like we have Ricky listening to Angela's problems and Brian's problem, and I was like, someone ask Ricky how he's doing, and then like Brian is listening. Like, that's the thing is, like, Brian is a little frustrating as the season begins. But I think chiefly through his relationship with Ricky, like his friendship with Ricky, he becomes a character, like what feels like a more fully formed character. And we see him, like, employ some of that elsewhere in the season. Like, Angela's conflict in this episode has boiled down to the final scene when she, like, understands what Brian has done. Like, it feels what I appreciate is they don't go for, like, weird shock value when there's groundwork laid for something like this. Like the previous scene where Brian was, like, talking to Angela on the stairs in her house about, like, sex and what girls think about and stuff like that. And he was, like, actually trying to be a good friend to her. Or actually trying to be a good friend to her in the betrayal episode.
Right.
Like, putting those pieces into place makes this feel so much stronger in the end, because it's a true love triangle in that, like, I mean, I know that 90% of the people were rooting for Jordan Catalano back in the day. I know the power that Jordan Catalano had over the culture, but Brian has, like, a legit claim here. You know what I mean? As far as, like, if you can claim someone or whatever, but, like, he is a legit case.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies just to see if you could save some cash? Well, Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
So big news to share, right?
Yes, huge, monumental, earth-shaking.
Heartbeat sound effect big. Mate is back.
That's right. After a brief snack nap.
We're coming back. We're picking snacks.
We're eating snacks.
We're rating snacks.
Like the snackologist we were born to be.
Mate is back.
Mike and Tom eat snacks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Unless you get them from a snack machine, in which case, call us.
Call us.
There are names that echo in the world of true crime, names that carry unanswered questions. Oakley Carlson, a 5-year-old girl who deserved safety, protection, and love, yet the system built to protect her failed, and Oakley disappeared. Her community still calls her name.
Or Ellen Greenberg, found in her locked apartment with 20 stab wounds, a case declared a suicide. But how does a locked apartment tell two different stories at once?
These are not just cases we have covered. They are people. They were loved, and they mattered.
Their stories deserve to be told with care, with depth, with truth.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ricky.
We are the husband and wife duo behind Crime Salad.
Every week we uncover stories of the missing, the silence, the misunderstood. We ask the questions that were left behind. We refuse to let these stories be forgotten.
Because behind every case is a family holding on, a community seeking answers, and a story that deserves to be heard.
We invite you to listen to Crime Salad,
your healthy portion of true crime, wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, should we listen for a moment to the sound of Patty's voice on the phone with Tony?
Yes, please.
Tony, I did not. Tony? Camille Chersky gave me your number. Okay, she got it from Howard Pickett at the last reunion.
I mean, this is like, we had a really good laugh a few episodes ago about people not understanding the acoustics of the house. Patty's in there thinking that no one can hear her. She's so surprised when Angela and Danielle walk in. There's a full window to the other room. It's not even like she's in a room with a closed door. Like, they're just standing basically in the room with her. And this kicks off a really sweet scene. And I think maybe we haven't seen anything quite like this since the fashion show episode, where we see the three Chase girls kind of bonding together. Danielle really curious about what's happening. Angela really relating her own experience to her mom's, and trying to maybe glean a little bit of perspective. Like when Angela asks Patty, like, were you in love with him? You know that she's just trying to get at the heart of like, well, you're not with him now, so maybe it's possible that like I can have feelings for this person, but they aren't going to be like the forever person or whatever. And this is also when we get Patty's dream. I told you that I had done like a little bit of digging on Diana because, we were kids when this was all happening. And it was a big enough deal to get even on kids' radar, certainly when Princess Diana died. But I was like not as aware of like the divorce and that whole, I really wasn't. But if you were an adult, for sure, you were like fully engaged with this entire thing.
That idea of like princesses don't get divorced, which is just like such a huge thing, especially given like Patty's earlier in the season like image of herself as a princess and stuff like that. And this is a thing that is burbling in Patty's subconsciousness of like, if my marriage goes sideways, am I going to be a divorced woman? And if I'm a divorced woman, like, what does that look like? And like, princesses don't. I was the most popular and beautiful girl in my high school. I don't get divorced. That doesn't happen, So I think that's interesting.
I'm a big especially because I watch Buffy so often. And Buffy I think is probably one of the television shows that does the absolute best dream sequences. They really have incredible dream sequences in that show. And I really liked the choice. It seemed almost silly, but I really liked the choice that they made to like have the motorcycle and Tony sort of like bloop onto screen.
Also, her garbage bag just like float away.
Yeah.
Also, she has her long hair from the beginning of the season. Yeah. It's a lot of good stuff. I love this dream. I love this Tony who looks, a lot like Jordan. And then I like the girls' reactions, like Angela being old enough to like be able to sort of understand where Patty's coming from in all of this, and Danielle's younger anxiety, which I remember this very distinctly when I was a kid. I was like so worried my parents would get a divorce, and like it really they used to fight all the time. And I was just like, oh my God, if they get a divorce, like, it's the end of the world, blah, blah. And now looking back, I'm like, maybe my parents should have gotten divorced, to be honest with you. I'm like, whatever. Divorce is not something you should decide for another person. But I'm just like, my attitude now is just sort of like, well, it's certainly not the end of the world for anyone. And like, not sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think that we grew up, and I could be misspeaking, having only grown up once, but we grew up in a time when divorce was like, I feel like talked about so much. And I think it's because in our parents' generation, it was way more taboo to divorce your partner. Whereas like in our parents' generation, it was something that happened more commonly. And I remember like in my elementary school, there was a group called, and I think a lot of you will probably have this, Banana Splits. Did you have a Banana Splits, Joanna?
No.
It was like a group for all the kids whose parents were divorced, and they would like talk about it together. And I just feel like that was such a part of my growing up, was that so many of my friends had parents who were split, and mine didn't. Mine stayed together.
Well, I think, and I'm not a sociologist, so, contrary to popular belief, but I think what's true is that we grew up in a time when like divorce was becoming normalized and okay. You didn't just like grin and bear it and stay together through the bad times. Divorce is considered okay. But we still hadn't reached the point where it's like, you don't have to get married. I feel like right now people are like choosing not to get married or choosing like to whatever in the first place, And so like, that was the tail end of like, well, you leave school, high school, college, whatever, you get a job, you get married. That's what you do. Yeah. And like, that would have been the case, when Patty and Graham, were leaving school and stuff like that. And like, that's not the case now. People live long lives not getting married. And so you don't get those marriages that I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I know that the marriage rate is going down. I know that that's true. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be surprised if the divorce rate is going down too, because like people are making more considered choices with who and when and why they get married. So
Totally.
Yeah.
Patty says something, which I think connects a bit to what you were just saying, but Patty says something at the end of this scene that I wrote down, because she says, it's always tempting, talking about Tony, it's always tempting to lose yourself with someone who's lost themselves, but eventually you want reality. And I thought that this was a really good setup for where they would have taken the show, because it's not like, I think a lot of the divorce storylines that we see are like, you know, your first love, you fall in love with your first love, or you fall in love with like the bad guy, the bad boy, or whatever. And like she's so pointedly underlining that Graham was not that, right? Graham was this conscious choice she made. And what a powerful divorce storyline to follow, where these two, I mean, Graham is fucking up royally, but we know that these two have a relationship that is really grounded, and Patty especially works so hard at trying to meet Graham where he is, and on and on. So I just took note of that line. I thought it was really special.
And it also seemed like Patty trying to reassure herself when she says,
"Yeah,
it's easy to lose yourself in someone who has lost them. It's easy to lose yourself in someone who's lost their selves. But you eventually want reality." If she's like, okay, Graham's losing himself in this Hallie person who has lost herself, but eventually he'll want the reality of our marriage.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think
Joanna.
I think she's wrong, but I think that's what she's trying to reassure
tell
herself
that story.
of. Yeah.
Totally.
Eventually
totally.
he'll come home to me. This is the life we've chosen and the choices we've made. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
So I guess where we go next is Jordan Catalano talking to Angela in the hallway after Coach Brain has helped him out of it with the unconscious wish line.
Yeah, which is something I've literally never heard of. I love that Angela. I believe that Angela is like pretending to have heard of it.
Yes, fully.
Because he's like, do you know what that is? At home, I'm like, no. But I do love that Brian's like, my parents are psychiatrists. You can't go by what they say. Great line. Great Brian stuff. And also, we need to talk about Brian hiding himself behind the door.
It's so much. It's so much.
And it's a very Cyrano move to have the Cyrano just like in the scene hiding himself somewhere.
Right?
Yeah,
and the silhouette, like the silhouette of him that it's not even like a door that's solid. It's like a glass door.
Yeah. His little hair. Yeah, exactly.
But also a shout out to Claire Danes here when he says, like, maybe I had a wish to punish you. Her smile is like that Angela Chase light the screen afire smile. She's so happy. And this is one of my favorite parts of the whole episode is that she's like, now we can talk.
Love it. And he's like, we just what?
This is
so good.
I just literally said more than I've ever said in my life, and now you want to talk more?
I have a really important highbrow point to make here.
Please.
Okay. So Jordan just bails, right? Because he's like, I have nothing prepared, right?
Uh-huh.
And Angela's disappointed and walks away. And then there's this moment where Brian is like standing in the hallway and he's like, what do I, oh my God. And I wrote in my note, this is, like I said, really highbrow note. I wrote in my note, Brian probably went to go shit himself because as you remember.
Oh yeah, it was IBS.
Canonically, Brian has a nervous stomach. So if this is not a shit himself moment, I don't know what else is, except for the very end of this episode is also probably.
Oh my God. Incredible. Incredible. Thank you for bringing that to us, Joanna.
I'm sorry, guys. I had a
Devin Gummersall does the clumsily hesitating between two poles acting like unbelievably.
Yeah, it's great.
His like, I don't know,
Yeah.
is just wonderful. Award winning.
Incroyable. C'est magnifique.
And then Brian tells Jordan, who is obviously like distraught because he's like, she wants more, man. Brian's like, no. And that exchange ends with Brian giving Jordan a look where we know that Brian is going to write this fucking letter for him.
Well, I mean, like, I like how we get there because, like, so I feel like at this point, Brian still believes that he won't, right?
Right.
And then we get,
right.
like, Angela and Ricky are hanging posters. Rand wants one to show Amber. There's very little Rand in this episode because she's shoved to, like, the outer limits of Angela's, like, social scene or whatever.
Right.
But, you know, Brienne's there. It's this whole thing, and it gets us to Ricky talking to Brian. And like Brian telling Ricky, once again, love this friendship for its help inside Brian's head or whatever. But like Brian tells Ricky everything, always.
Yeah.
And he tells Ricky like that he told Jordan what to say. And then Ricky comes through with this like insightful, you're using Jordan Catalano as a conduit for your own real true feelings. And then like we get that conversation that sorry, I don't mean to like fast forward through a lot, but we get that conversation you already talked about, which is like, do you realize how much easier my life would be if I were straight? This could be my chance.
Yeah.
I don't want to skip past that, but I just mean like we have to go through all that journey to get to Brian. I don't know why alone in the school, the janitor
Oh my God,
appears
so
to be
late
there
at night.
in
Yeah.
the background, and he's like, "Fuck it," and then like starts writing on the back of the poster.
Yeah.
I love it. So
And we follow him too. I love a
whole
scene that
process.
like follows one thing but through many environments, and so like we follow this letter from the school to his bedroom to Angela sitting in her bedroom reading it, and then we get to the bus. Like after this, we've heard the letter, which is it's gutting. His letter is gutting.
Dear Angela, I know in the past I've caused you pain, and I'm sorry. And I'll always be sorry till the day I die. And I hate this pen I'm holding because I should be holding you. I hate this paper under my hand because it isn't you. I even hate this letter because it's not the whole truth. Because the whole truth is so much more than a letter can even say. If you want to hate me, go ahead. If you want to burn this letter, do it. You could burn the whole world down. You could tell me to go to hell. I'd go. If you wanted me to. And I'd send you a letter from there. Sincerely, Jordan Catalano.
do you have a favorite line from the letter? Because I do.
I mean, I think that mine is probably the predictable, or like a bit more predictable. I love the you could burn the world down and tell me to go to hell. I'd write you, like, basically I'd write you a letter from there is my favorite line, which is the ending line of the letter.
It's very good. I think my favorite line of the letter is, I even hate this letter because it's not the whole truth, because that's the most truthful thing about the letter.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just love that. Love the shot of Claire Danes rubbing her little sock feet together. This like passionate overwhelm of the letter, but also like just cute little sock feet. Not in like a creepy Tarantino way, just like in a like she's a girl, you know what I mean? She's not like rolling around on the bed, but she's just like, oh my God. Okay, there is something we skipped over that I do want to get back to in a second.
Yes.
But before we get there, I want to ask you a question.
Please.
Just like you blindsided me with best use of flannel. What is the best letter you have ever received?
Okay, well, I have an answer to this, but it almost feels like a cheat answer. I mean, I don't think it is, but I don't know. So, and I've talked about it somewhere on some podcast before, so apologies to those of you who already know about this. But when I fell in love for the first time, my first girlfriend, I was 18, she was 19, and I was very newly out, but I was out, and she was not. She had a boyfriend, very much believed herself to be straight, went through the, like, I only want to kiss Ani DeFranco Ani DeFranco and maybe Kristin, the other gay person I know, but it's only about, I'm not gay. I just like, it's just this one person. And anyway, long story short, we fell in love and it was very complicated time in her life for many reasons. And that entire summer, she kept a journal for me. And so at the end of the summer, she gave me this, it's called The Project. I have it. I have the paper copy like in my closet to this day. I actually just digitized it because I was like, someday I'm not going to have the paper and I want to keep it forever. So I have what is essentially it's a record of the first person who ever fell in love with me writing about that journey. And it is really very beautiful and powerful. And I don't know, someday I want to do something even more with it because it's a very special time capsule.
I should have gone first because how do I think someone keeping a journal for you? Okay, I will do my best. Mine is also my first love. And I was in Italy studying abroad, and this is someone that like we had sort of been together, whatever. It was sort of like on again, off again, this whole thing. And then I left, and like this is a time, I am so ancient that when you study abroad, you like your connection with home is like if you have time to go to the internet cafe and pay for internet and you sit at a computer with like a dumb European keyboard and like
no offense Europe
but like definitely but like you can't type very fast because like things are in different places and stuff like that. So like I would send these long-ish emails to people. That's the best way I kept in touch. There was like no Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitter, no like whatever, no internet in your pocket on your phone. So like communication was just like really not a thing that was regularly happening. And so, as they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder or whatever. So I was barely in touch with this guy, and he wrote me a letter. He wrote me a couple letters, but he wrote me one letter that I got in Italy. And
so this is on paper.
Mm-hmm. And I was in class, and it was like before class, and I had like picked it up from the post office or whatever. And so I like had it in class before class started, and I was reading the letter, and he like declared his said I love you for the first time in a letter that he sent to Italy.
Oh my God, were you rubbing your sock feet together doing it?
No, but I was sitting there reading it, and my Italian teacher, who like really, I was such a kiss at, like teachers love me, like she really liked me, and she was like in Italian, she like asked me, she's like, oh, is it a good letter? And I was like, it's a really good letter. And she's like, I can tell. And I was just like, yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's my, the first time he said I love you, he sent me in like international post.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but I think that you and I just had some pretty epic letter stories.
People don't have children write each other letters. It's a big deal.
Yes, honestly. Not to get too far off track, but over in Land of Buffering, the Vampire Slayer, one of our listeners has organized a pen pal exchange.
I love it.
Yeah, and I just joined it. I was like, I want a pen pal. Like I want the experience of sitting at my desk with a pen and a piece of paper and writing to somebody. We don't do that anymore, literally ever. And it's really nice. We should do more of it.
Yeah, I have one friend who writes cards, like long cards to us,
so nice.
And it's she's the only one. None of us ever write them back to her. I see her all the time, so it's not like even we're out of touch. She'll just like sit down and write some like lovely letter about how important our friendship is and like send it. And you're just like, oh my God.
It's such a beautiful thing, and it's very like therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's centering. It's grounding.
Yeah.
Write more letters.
Write more letters. All right, let's go back to Graham and Hallie, who we skipped past. And I just do want to give, like you said before, like it's not that Hallie is like twisting her mustache trying to bust up this marriage.
Right.
She has this conversation with him about like jealousy and how he should like like at least pretend to be jealous about Tony Poole. And he's like, we don't play games like that. And she says, I don't call that a game. I call that considerate. What a great line from Hallie Lowenthal, a character who I hate. But like,
seriously.
that's a great, that's just considerate. Obviously, Patty's going to be happy if you say you're slightly threatened by the prospect of Tony Poole, and like Hallie recognizes that. And I like you said, I like these complications. It's not so simple.
Right, it's not black
who's
and
the
white.
villain here, you know? So
I mean, Hallie definitely, anytime I wrote one of my notes in this episode and many others, but I've gotten like more emphatic, more caps locks. And this episode, I just wrote Hallie eating. She's always eating with her mouth
her
open.
little mouth. Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go to the bus and Brian sees Brian is just again behind the glass door, even though the glass door isn't here, looking at Angela reading the letter. And he's like, what are you reading? And she's like, have you ever given up on someone and then realized there's more to them? And she says, like, it's the most incredible letter I've ever received. And Brian is so, like, he so can't contain himself that he almost blows it entirely right here when he's like, so, what was your favorite part?
I love that part where, like, she's like, it's too personal. Sorry, Bri. He's like, personal? I wrote it on the back of a poster. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, that's great. Then we get Angela and Jordan in the hallway. Great. In the same corner, because that stoplight poster is there, right? So same corner of the hallway as her dream. Mm-hmm. And he says another great thing. We like Jordan because he's on the verge of confessing right here. Like,
yes, he wants to tell her.
Yeah, he wants to tell her, like, faster than Freddie Prinze Jr. wanted to tell Rachel Lee Cook and she's all that about the bet, And he says, I have all these dreams where I know exactly what to say.
And you tell me you forgive me.
And you tell me you forgive me. Okay, so where are my Counting Crows fans at? All right, so every time I watch this scene, as I have a few times since we started this project, whenever he gets that line, I'm like, that's a Counting Crows lyric. So there's a whole journey here. First of all, I just need to ask you if you think that Jordan Catalano would have been a Counting Crows fan.
Yeah, I do.
August and Everything After came out in 1993. That's their most famous album.
Yeah, I
Mr.
definitely
Jones.
do. After hearing Red, I think that he could for sure be a Counting Crows fan. I think he could take some influence from what's his name?
Adam Duritz. But then I looked up this song. So the song lyric that I'm thinking of, it's called I Wish I Was a Girl, and the premise is like, so that you would believe me and I could shake this panic every time I could recite the whole song. Anyway.
Wow.
I'm a huge Counting Crows fan. I don't really want to talk about it, but it's true. I have seen Counting Crows in concert more than any other band. So,
oh my God, incredible.
It's because, you know why? It's because that guy who wrote me that letter in International Post was a Counting Crows fan, and like we became like Counting Crows fans together.
God, honestly, probably 50% of all of the music that like we like is because somebody we had a crush on liked it first.
Absolutely.
And we wanted something to talk to them about.
I'm so embarrassed by how many books I read to impress certain people. Okay, but one of the lyrics in the song is, in one of these dreams, you forgive me.
In one of these dreams, you forgive me.
But I looked it up, and I Wish I Was a Girl is actually off a later album, This Desert Life, great album, which came out in 1999. So, in fact, perhaps it was Adam Duritz who was influenced by Jordan Catalano in the end.
So now we get, first of all, there's this scene in the hallway where Ricky's like, hey, do you want to sell these tickets? Brian's like, go fuck yourself. And then Delia's like, I want to sell the tickets. And Brian's like, yeah, me too, obviously. But before that happens, fucking Brian sees like Angela or whatever. And he says, she's still going to die someday. We're all going to die.
I just love it. I just like want it on my license plate. I don't know where I want it. Like, where a bumper sticker, a poster, an inspirational poster, hang in there. She's still gonna die someday. We're all gonna die. Something like that. In the sand on the beach, there was only one set of footprints because she's still gonna die someday. We're all gonna die.
Oh my God, somebody, probably the same person who made you that goldfish
loincloth
Photoshop, I hope makes you this poster.
It's so Good. Next time I'm mad at someone, I'm just gonna say that to my. I know yours is like I'm gonna kill him with my hands, but I'm like, it's fine. She's still gonna die someday. We're all gonna die.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So apart from that line, basically what we get is that Brian doesn't want to tell Angela, but now Ricky
knows.
Oh my God. And do you know what that means, Joanna? We are at the bathroom scene between Sharon and Rayanne.
It's all been building to this moment.
This is the most romantic scene in the entire series.
Were you like rubbing your little socks together?
I was fully rubbing my socks together watching this fucking scene. I can't take it. I literally can't. Fucking Rayanne is like, I have no friends. And then fucking Sharon, it's her face. It's Devin Odessa. If you were listening to this, your fucking face in the scene murders me because she has this like smirk the whole time of like the girl who knows she likes this girl, you know, whether she's playing it as friend or not. I don't care because I will read what I want to read into it. But she says, you'll say anything. And a person can say anything to you. You're like, non-shockable. And then Rayanne's like, it's refreshing, isn't it? And she says, it is kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
And then she says, so you do have a friend. And then Rayanne says, I screwed up. And Sharon goes over to her, holds two of her little braids in her hand, and says, duh, squared. And to punctuate each word, she tugs on Rayanne's braids. And Rayanne, I will have you know, looks visibly excited and uncomfortable, grabs her bag and leaves the bathroom, which is how I know that these two are into each other. The end.
So we talked, thank you for that novel. What do you call it on buffering when you talk about faith
it was
buffering?
my erotic novel.
Yeah, your erotic novel.
It was one of my longest, actually.
So here's the deal. In season 2 of My So-Called Life, one of Winnie Holston's ideas, in addition to the Patty divorce and who Angela was dating and blah, blah, is that Sharon Trisky would get pregnant, presumably with dumb Kyle's baby. Sorry, Kyle's not dumb. It's just not whatever. Anyway, Kyle's baby. And I think goes through with it. I think, yeah, or maybe not. I don't know. I think goes through with it. Though, like, you know, My So-Called Life would have, if any show would have an abortion storyline in the mid-90s. But this idea, I could definitely see a whole thing where, like, maybe Angela's judgmental of Sharon, or like, so, you know, Sharon gets like isolated and ostracized for this thing having happened to her, and that Rayanne, who, you know, like, you're unshockable, you're like, you can say anything to something, like, that she would tell Rayanne first, maybe tell Rayanne before Angela, you know, because this thing has happened to her and she's scared and she doesn't know what to do, and the potential, not 100%. Even like, you know, like, let's, you know, not even the gay potential necessarily, but maybe, but like, let's, whatever, just the potential of the connection of these two characters around this like very scary, hard thing that would have happened with Sharon is something that I really wish we could have seen.
Moving out of the bathroom scene, which I never want to do, Patty, as Graham is leaving for the dinner, Patty is like, I could call Tony and cancel, which reminded me so much of Angela. Remember when Angela doesn't want to go to the place with Jordan because she's not ready to have sex yet? And she's like, Dad, if you guys don't want me to go, like, I could just not go.
And
it's
Graham
like, Patty,
has never met a clue he could pick up on in his life.
Seriously.
He's like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to walk out the door with my chafing dish. Don't worry about it. Give Angela a ride. I'm just like, Graham, get a clue, please. Just one.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Oh, so Ricky tells Angela. Ricky says, like, you know, though, right? This is such a good way of telling somebody a secret that you're, like, not sure you want to tell. Is like, but you already knew that, right? Like, I just assumed you knew that. So... She didn't know it, and you can see her like get punched in her gut. She immediately asks Mr. Katimsky, who's like busy taking the entire school to pizza, to take her home.
Screw tickets, Katimsky said when it was like his. Okay, wait, no, I just needed to say a couple things about Katimsky.
Yeah, please.
He's like, screw tickets, when that was like his only life's goal. But a few moments ago, let's go get pizza. Like, okay. But also my favorite is like the scene opens with the students who are not Angela and Ricky all in chorus saying something like, Mr. Katimsky, these instructions don't make sense. These make no sense. So I really, and he's like, I know. And I'm like, what? Were Katimsky's unfollowable directions for how to sell tickets for our town.
We talked to Senta Moses Mikan in a special episode a bit ago, and one of the things that we talked about was this scene, which is really important, but also this hat. This hat is just really something. It's like a black beret with like a gigantic bow on the red or pink bow.
Very blossom.
On the side of it.
Very blossom.
We've talked so much about how well the show does Ricky's sexuality and moments surrounding his sexuality. And this is, I think, one of the ultimate moments, one of the top moments of the series, if not the best moment of the series, because we get Ricky coming out to Delia. And it's, as he says, the first time that he said the words. I would like to hear Ricky say the words. I think it's really important.
Okay, but you're gay, right?
Well, I.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, it's okay.
That came out so rude.
No, see, I try not to. I don't like. Yeah. I'm gay. I just don't usually say it like that.
How do you usually say it?
I don't usually say it. I mean, I've actually never said it out loud.
Wow. I feel kind of honored.
So what I love is the understanding of this moment for somebody saying it for the first time, knowing it but not knowing it, and like in the saying of it becoming true. Because that is something that like I identify with, and I think that if you are a queer person, a trans person, there's something about saying it out loud to another person that all of a sudden you're like, welp, I did that. So, now it's real and you can see it. It's so beautiful. And then to like take a moment that already was so impactful and take it just over the top to make it a real home run. Delia's response that she says, I feel honored. Like, people have asked me for a decade, like, how do I respond to somebody when they come out to me? And it's like, well, this is one way. This is an amazing way. Thank you for trusting me is what I always say. Thank you for trusting me with this piece of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And she basically says that I feel honored that you would share this with me. And also so sweetly, and I have the biggest crush on you. And then, oh my God.
Yes. What she says
Go
here,
ahead.
right?
Take us to the last bit of this scene.
She says, I'm
Joanna.
sort of in the mood to have a crush on someone where it can't hurt too much. Which is just like, you love, like, because you're in such a like cringe this episode, because we like Delia fine, and we don't want her to be heartbroken, but we want Ricky to like be able to live his truth. So you're like, oh no, there's no way out of this. It's gonna make everyone happy. And then somehow the show's like, guess what? We found the path. Like, Delia knows he's gay. She just wants to have a crush on someone and feel close to them or whatever, and get male attention in a way that doesn't feel like dangerous to her.
Yeah.
And like that is, I think, why we talked about this in the dance episode, but I think that is why like a lot of women who feel like they don't meet some kind of standard for men or whatever, like have close relationships with gay men, because it like feels safe to be around like those men who will appreciate them in a way that like, shitty standards. Delia's a cutie. I'm not like saying anything about that, but
Right,
like,
but-
shitty standards that society has sometimes around women. And then he says, if I were attracted to girls, I'd be attracted to you. And then they hold hands.
Oh my God.
Sweet.
Honestly, if you could bottle up the essence of Ricky Vasquez, it is him saying to Delia that line. It is just like the most beautifully sweet thing.
Okay.
And
then
true.
we get, so you're like, apotheosis of cuteness, just like so sweet, blah, blah. And then you're like, and then my notes say in all caps, Patty and Jordan, oh my God. That's what it says.
When Patty opens the door, like I knew it was Jordan, but there was a small part of me that just wanted us to get
Brian.
Yes, because it just seemed like that is the moment that Brian would be there, but instead this time it was Jordan.
Angela's the one who got the oh my God, it's Brian. Not moment, but just sort of like the whole episode is a oh my God, it's Brian for Angela. You know what I mean?
Truly,
yeah.
So we talked about it a little, but Patty is feeding Jordan. Jordan is drinking too much milk. And they have had, show me the tape of the pleasure center trip and show me the tape of the conversation that Patty and Jordan had before we get to. But right, Patty saying, it's clear you never meant to hurt her.
This is so Spike and Joyce, I can't even handle it, right?
It is fully, and I'm so glad that you said that, Joanna, because it is the first thing that came to my mind. The minute that we went into the scene and it was Patty and Jordan, I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Spike and Joyce.
It's Spike and Joyce and mini marshmallows. That's what it is. And so
Totally.
it's a very powerful dynamic, used excellently twice, but it's just so great. He's being so dopey and sweet and just sort of do you always wear this? He says, so he says all this thing, right? He's like, and he doesn't pause. Props to Jared Leto for his performance in the scene. It's great, but it's he says, it's like you think you're safe or something because you can just walk away anytime because you don't need her. You don't need anyone. But the thing you don't realize is you're wrong. You always wear the sweatshirt up. He says it in the same tone, he's just continuing this profound, beautiful thing about her daughter. Right. Jordan. Why? So good. Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And then, he uses his ironic, a perfect execution of the word ironic. And we cut outside. I have to give a proper shout out to Katimski's car. It's this old fashioned, I don't even know what it is.
It reminds me of Giles's car.
Yes, right. It's the what do you call that? The Citroen.
Citroen. Yeah.
And Brian's back on his bike. Where we begin, so we will end. Brian in the middle of the street, circling around. But let's finish the Patty and almost said Patty and Tino scene, the Patty and Jordan scene where Jordan, the phone rings and Jordan's like, if that's a guy named Tino, I'm not here.
Love it.
But Patty lies to Graham and tells him that her hang with Tony was like old times.
She's lying and she's not, because Jordan is Tony. We all know that. You know what I mean? And she's just and that this was what she wanted. She didn't want Tony Poole now. She wanted Tony Poole then, and look who showed up at her door with all his rings on his fingers and bells on his toes. Here he is, Jordan Catalano. Got any more milk? So just just hoovering sandwiches into his mouth. Saying sweetly profound things and drinking all their milk. He goes through a whole container.
Literally the gallon of milk. It's offensive. I'm upset about it. My crush on Jordan Catalano petered in this finale because of the amount of milk.
Brian Krakow's IBS is I could never. Oh my God.
Graham takes a tip from Hallie.
Yeah.
Says he's jealous and it makes Patty so happy, which is very nice. But then unfortunately, Hallie and Graham basically almost kiss in this next little scene where they hug for way too long. They pause for way too long and everyone gets uncomfortable. Oof.
It's very bad. So Angela has seen Jordan's car. So she knows Jordan's inside. She's got that on her mind. But then Brian's here and she starts it off and she confronts him, and then she goes through the whole journey if she's all that in terms of oh, am I just a joke to you? Blah, blah. And then Brian goes I meant every word. I mean, what? And then he goes.
Claire, Angela, whatever. Both of them have this moment right after that when he says, I meant every word. And then, she realizes everything. And she just says, Brian, how? And last episode, or I think maybe the episode with Vanessa, we talked about how Angela sounds like she has like a tear in her mouth.
Yeah.
And that is happening here.
Yeah.
She's like, how?
Forget this whole conversation. How? And I'm making it sound bad, but it's like so effective.
No,
and
it's
like,
so good.
And the way it's shot, she's so close to him. And they're doing like over the shoulder, like shot, reverse shot of them. So they just like, they're so close and they're framed so close. And then you liked it though. It made you happy because that's probably all that matters. Once again, tear in the throat. Oh. I can't do it. I sound like an elderly ghost when I try to do Claire Danes' cry voice. Woo-hoo, but she says like
an elderly ghost.
Oh my god. And then Jordan comes out and just like ruins the whole moment because like I don't know, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's fine. And he's gotten permission.
Your mom said it's okay.
Patty says it's okay. Like Patty approves. She's like, go on, Angela, have your Tony pool. You all want these memories. And he says, see a brain, right? He's nice. And then what I think is really an interesting choice. Because when they made this episode, Winnie Holtzman was aware that this could be the last episode of My So-Called Life ever.
Right.
And we end on a shot on Brian.
Yeah.
It's just we don't get one last word from Angela. We don't get any, we don't get Angela in the car looking out the window or whatever. It's Brian on the street on his bike. And that's the last shot of My So-Called Life. So, and I mean, to bring it back to the beginning, you were sure when we talked about the first episode, you were very, wise to make us really focus on like those shots in the first episode where it's like Brian and Angela in the streets. You know what I mean? On either side of the street, and how we've come like full circle from there, but so much has happened ever since. And
totally. And also with the car, it's like, one of the very first episodes of the show was Brian sort of like in the tree, like waiting for Angela to come home. And when Angela got in that car, man, was she not looking at Brian. And so like through the series, through the season journey, like she is thinking about Brian. She does get in the car, and we are to believe that she's going to get back together with Jordan, but she is thinking about Brian. So like we went on that journey. We have moved. We have traveled. The needle has moved.
The one thing that I think is really interesting that I've heard Winnie Holtzman say about her plan for further seasons of the show is that in her view, Rand and Angela would never really be like friends again. That they would like orbit each other, that they would be friendly, that they would have moments like sort of the weekend episode or whatever, where they would like sort of be in each other's lives, but they would not be able to return
to where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a true, thing. A really true thing.
Do you want to hear Kate's final haiku?
I do.
Kate says, while I hate it ends, I kind of love that it's this one perfect season.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of where we are. It's like, all these things that we know would maybe happen don't. We never get the next page. But it is a perfect season of television. And these characters, I mean, for characters to stick with so many of us for so many years with just 19 episodes, I mean, a lot of the characters that stick with me are these characters that I saw many, many, many seasons of. So I think it's just such a testament to the show and to the characters and the actors in the show too. Of how deeply we feel for them in such a short span of time.
It's an incredible show. And I'm so glad to have gone on this journey with you, Kristin Russo. Thank you for asking me to do it.
Thank you for doing it with me. Thank you for journeying. I believe we had a time.
We had a time. When I was wrapping up the finale, I was like, I'm so glad. Like, because this is basically like when I podcast about a show, I consider it sort of like studying, right? Like I've studied this show now, and I'm like, it's gonna be not only did I enjoy it every week talking to you, but it's gonna be so valuable to me to have taken the time to study this show in terms of like all the things it does so right about storytelling and how valuable I think that is, and also all the brave ways in which it pushed the needle on certain subjects at the time. Like don't tell stories from like a scared place, try to tell them from a brave place, like all this sort of stuff. So it's a great show. It's a great it says great things about you, that this is like your all-time, this is your heart, I believe, as you told it. And
and thank you for all of you who journeyed with us, for going on this journey. And my gosh, for those of you who this is your first time through it, wow, welcome to the other side. You have permission to start again at the beginning anytime you'd like.
You had a time with us. You did it.
You did. You did. Oh, well, Joanna, now that we are not talking about My So-Called Life any longer, where can they find you referencing My So-Called Life to talk about other television shows or other things in life?
You can find me dropping My So-Called Life references all the time, probably on the Storm podcast, where I'm rewatching the TV show Lost episode by episode. Still watching, which right now we're watching The Outsider on HBO, but soon we will be watching Westworld on HBO. Little Gold Men, where I'm talking about awards season, which I don't know what that has to do with My So-Called Life, but I'll figure out a way.
It deserved more awards.
Sure. And always on Twitter at Joe Wrote This, and online at vf.com.
Yes. You can find me comparing the lives of these high school students to the lives of the high school students who are now college students over at Buffering the Vampire Slayer, where I talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You'll also probably hear me and Joanna over there many times in the future, because Joanna is one of our absolute favorite guests of all time. And then you can always find out about the work that I do with LGBTQ communities. My website is KristinNoeline.com. That's KristinNoeline. And you can use that spelling to find me on Twitter and on Instagram, where I share pictures of my cats and also things that I think are important. I mean, my cats are important. Just they're the most important, but other things that are a little less important than my cats, but still important. And we are on social media. If you want to find out, if you've listened to past episodes, you want to see some of these beautiful shots of like Vanessa Bayer and Jared Leto, for example, you can find them. Right? That photo, man.
So good.
Keeper. We are at the Boiler Room Cast on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And we'll be doing a fun wrap-up mailbag episode for those of you who pledged on Kickstarter. And to repeat, if you send an email and you didn't pledge on Kickstarter, but we read it in our mailbag episode, we'll send the episode to you too. So don't be afraid that you'll send an email and you'll just never hear our response. You can email us at boilerroomcast@gmail.com. Joanna, what if, to close the finale episode, we play just us saying "Go Now Go" together from the theme song? Because I know we'll nail it.
The one where we're actually in sync.
Go now, go. And dance by the light of the moon.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Did the sound of those words call to you like Pavlov's dog? Then you might enjoy our podcast, Turtle Time.
Every week, you can join me, Riley Hamilton, and my co-host, Amy Scarlatta, as we cover the most pressing Bravo news and dig into the new episodes to answer important questions like, who the hell is Adrian Malouf in this world?
Listen to Turtle Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday.
From the darkest corners of our imagination comes a game show that's more ridiculous than terrifying. Welcome to Tickled to Death, the horror comedy game show where nothing is sacred, everything's a little unhinged, and the only thing more cursed than the questions are the jokes. I'm Roz Hernandez, your fearless host, and each week I'll be leading a brave group of guests through twisted horror trivia, improv games, and enough sarcastic banter to make you question all your life's choices. So come for the screams, stay for the snark. Listen to Tickled to Death wherever you get your podcasts, and hit follow unless you want the show to follow you. In the meantime, don't get tickled to death.